Hello everyone, I'm Tracy and welcome to today's video. So I have some really exciting new brushes from Hakuhodo, and with the exception of one, these are new styles from Hakuhodo. They've been released in the last, I would say the past couple of months. The actual styles aren't new, but the fact that they made it with the goat and squirrel hair mix makes them new. And for some of you guys already know, this is probably like my favorite hair type for brushes. So I was really excited to get these, and I'm going to be demoing them all. And I just got them yesterday, so they're brand new, not washed, but I like trying them out like that before washing them. So let's get started. I have 3 face brushes and 1 eye brush. So I'll start out with the little less exciting brush. And this is the only eye brush I got. It's the G005. I got it in the champagne handle because if you order from Fude Japan, you can get more customized handles. And my understanding is you can't get any of these through the US website. So you would have to get them from Fude Japan. And this one is a weasel hairbrush. I just wanted, one little one from Hakuhodo. I've never bought a weasel hairbrush from Hakuhodo, so this will be interesting to try out. And I will actually put a little bit of shimmer. Okay, so I'm going to just put, I use the Retro Glam palette. I'll just put a little bit, maybe I'll just put a little bit more of this really bright, like mint green shimmer. I'll put it like in the corner of my eyes here. So that's what it picked up. It picks up really well. There's a little piece of lint there because it's a new brush. So I like these little brushes to get in this little area right here and the inner corner. I usually kind of blend it up that way. And then I like to put a little shimmer like in the tear duct area. Sometimes I like to carry it like down the lash line. So yeah, this is a really great brush, especially if you have smaller eyes. But if you have bigger eyes and you want to do this task, I think it'll be a great option. And I didn't finish my makeup, so I know my base makeup looks a little crazy right now, but I'm gonna kind of even everything out with these brushes. Okay, so let me start out with the smallest of the face brushes. This is the G4003A. I don't know what the A means, but this style has been available in the pure goat hair version. I don't have that one, but it's just a slightly bigger version of the G511. I've had the G511 for some time, and I thought it would be like a little bit more bigger, but it's just very slightly bigger. And I didn't see the measurements on the site, so I can't give you the exact measurements, but I can tell the ferrule's a little bit longer and the hairs might be 1 or 2 millimeters longer. But this brush, so far, it feels really, really soft, and I feel like these are even softer than the previous mixed hair brushes I got. I don't know if it's just, these brushes or my opinion, but they're extremely soft, and I don't know, I'm really impressed with these. I've been a little hesitant with Hakuhodo because there have been some of this type, this mixed hair, that I felt the hairs were pretty sparse. So I was a little worried I was going to get a sparse brush, but this one definitely isn't. It's pretty dense. It's a lot more dense than the 511. Yeah, so it's a little bigger and it's a little more densely packed, and this will be good for me. I'll probably use it for blush and highlighter. You can also powder with the angle. I'm going to come back to this one after I do my bronzer. I'll do my highlighter or maybe blush, but I want to put some powder bronzer on first. So, but I want to show you the smallest and I'll work my way up to the bigger ones. Okay, and this one, this is the one that when I saw it, I knew like I wanted to get it. It's the G531A, and the 531 style is one of their more dense angled brushes, and this is definitely a dense brush, more so than the other angled styles that come in the mixed hair. And show you, this is the 5544. This one is not a dense brush. The 5544 is a pretty floppy brush. And I just washed this one because it was dirty. This is the G5542. And it's a little damp, so, and I use this 5542 a lot, but it is more dense than the 5542. It's about the same width and about the same length. It's just a denser version. So if that's what you're looking for, I think you will like this one. And I'm very, very excited to give this one a try. I have not used any of these yet. So I'm going to do my powder bronzer with this brush. So I did all my cream products. I'm going to just, actually I want to powder first. Okay, so I'm going to powder a little bit and then do my bronzer with this. I'm going to use this new to me by Terry hyaluronic powder in the press version. This powder is simply amazing. It picks up really well. I was afraid, because I normally get the loose version, I was a little worried that it would be hard to pick up, but it is definitely not. So I'm gonna just lightly powder. And this one, again, is very, very soft. For my preference, a little dense for powdering, but just a little sticky. All right, I don't want to over powder, but we're going to go in with the Dior Forever Bronzer in Warm Bronze, one of my favorite bronzers. So I'm going to use it just like I use my other angled brushes for bronzer. I just kind of carry it just where the cream bronzer is. Now I feel, because of the density and because it's a new brush, I kind of feel like it might be lifting my cream products a little bit. And it's gonna be shedding a little because it's brand new, but that slows down after it's been washed a little. Washed and used. I want to like smooth that contour out, make it less obvious. I'm going to clean this up later with powder because it's a little, it got a little patchy right here. I don't think I powdered it very well. So that's my bad that it got patchy right there, but with the next brush, I'll try to smooth that out. Which I should be able to do with this brush. And my foundation's a little light for me, so I'm gonna just kind of like lightly get this bronzer all over. Yes, I really like how that came out, at least from what I can see. It looks very smooth, very airbrush, and I feel like that patchiness right here got a little bit better. I think it's also just the way I have unevenness, like my skin is uneven right here. It tends to happen a lot right here. But yeah, that really, it kind of like smoothed out the cream contour I had and added some warmth to my skin. So far I'm really enjoying this brush. I can't wait to wash it and see how much it fluffs up. I'm pretty sure it's going to fluff up quite a bit. Because if you see the 5542, this one really fluffed up. I wish I washed this earlier. Okay, so that is the G531. So far, really enjoying this brush. And then this one, it was really hard for me to decide on this one, because I originally was going to get the G110 because the 110 style is one of my favorite styles from Hakuhodo. But I saw a post, Mari's Fude, and it looked a little sparse. It actually looked like the G5545, which is an amazing brush, but this is a very light, not densely packed brush, and it looked kind of like this one. And this one is the G110 is more expensive, and so I just didn't feel like there was a space, like I really needed anything like that. Like it wasn't different enough for me to get the G110. So I went with the G206. This is the hairs here, these are long hairs. I'm pretty sure these are the longest of this hair type that I have. And that's why it cost a lot more than the other styles. That's what I'm guessing. It's fairly dense, but not super dense. I was expecting it to be a little more dense because of the cost. But I think what you're getting is you're getting some of the longest hairs. And when it comes to, especially when it comes to squirrel hairs, the price does go up significantly when the hairs are longer. There's just less of them, you know, they're less you can do about shorter hairs. You could cut them, but the longer hairs are more prized in general for all kinds of hairs. But I've noticed that especially with squirrel hair. And this brush is just so divine, so perfectly made. It's slightly tapered, but not a lot. It's got a little bit of that diamond shape, but it's for the most part round, and it starts tapering really low. And that's what I love about these squirrel and goat mix hairs that are in this shape, because this allows you to pat and to swipe. So it's technically a powder brush, but I'm gonna do my blush with it, because if anything is comparable to this, it's the G507 or the B507, depending on when you got yours. And I have the B507. This is the same mix. It's just smaller, shorter, and a little bit narrower. But the B507 is one of my all-time favorite blush brushes. So if you're considering this, it's just a much bigger version of the B507. Or it might be going by G507, but the hairs are longer, it's wider, and yeah, just all over bigger, more dense. Yeah, the 507 is a fairly fluffy brush, and this one is, you know, kind of floppy, but yeah, more resistance with the 206 than the 507. With this one, I was really intrigued, and I hadn't heard anything about it yet, so even more so I wanted to get this one. This mirror is too small. Okay, so I'm going to just tap like that. Actually, it's not picking up a whole lot, which, you know, could be good, could be bad. I mean, my Rosy Glow is it's a little old, at least a year old. So I'm going to use it just how I use the B507. And I expect it to turn out really great. So see how I could just so quickly pat and get that beautiful blush look? I mean, you don't have to swipe or buff or anything, but you can. So I would say if you don't have the B507, I think you will like this one. But if you have the 507, and you know, this one is considerably more expensive, you don't necessarily need this one. This is just purely for the experience. I really wanted it because I don't have anything in this length. So yeah, that's why I got this one. And yeah, it's amazing as expected. So soft on the skin. Didn't lift any of my base makeup. Okay, now I'm gonna use the G4003 for the other side. Yeah, this, I don't know if it's the blush, but it's not picking up very well, but I think it's the blush because I didn't use this for some time. And the Rosy Glow formula, the old formula, is kind of known to get hard pan, but mine isn't. I wouldn't say it's hard pan, it's just a little bit, it's a little hard to pick up. So yeah, this is going to give you more intensity, whereas the 206 is going to give you more of that, you know, barely there blush look. But if you want more impact, the 4003 will get you there faster. Yeah, so it does look quite different on different sides. And then I'm going to use this to highlight as well. I'll use again a Dior, the Coral Glow Luminizer. I usually like a more like tapered brush for this step, but I'll just use like the end of this one. So yeah, that worked really well. It's gonna be, compared to some of my other brushes, it's not gonna heavily apply highlighter. I would say like some of my other brushes apply that highlighter more intensely. A lot of times when I use a new brush, you know, I'm not doing things as well as it could be. And so I'm going to use the 206 to kind of clean up right here, kind of like get that brownish tone off. And I'm going to use a powder with more pigment. I'll use this Huda Beauty Glowish powder. I'll kind of heavily load it up right there. See if I can tone down right here. think that worked. Took away that blotchiness right there. All right, I really much prefer this side versus this side, especially with the blush. So I'm gonna just use this to kind of to remedy the problem, kind of even it out. Okay, that's better. But I still like this side. I think it's just more natural looking. Yeah, I could really tell in the viewfinder. But overall, I'm really happy with the quality and the craftsmanship of these brushes. And so this one is, I think, what I expected. You know, it was a slightly bigger version of the 511. But I don't know if I feel like I need this size because I have the 511 and I have the larger angled ones. But I think what I would use this for, not blush or highlighter, but I would use it to powder. I like these brushes to powder, especially to get like areas like this really well. I'm very happy with this one. And the G531 is not a disappointment. I was hoping it would be the densest of the angle brushes that I have, and it is. And yeah, it's just so perfectly crafted, so even. So if you like the J531, you'll probably love this one. And I think if you have the other angled mixed hair, this will be different because of the density. It's more dense than any of the other ones that I have. Okay, and then the 206. This one, I mean, I'm so happy that I was able to get this brush, and I'm so, you know, fortunate to be able to have this in my collection. I think though, if you have the B507, you don't need this one. I mean, we don't need anything, but this is just like a larger version. But I'm gonna, you know, play with these more and find different ways to use this brush. And I'm pretty sure this is going to change quite a lot after I wash it. And I'll compare it to the G502. So it's much longer. And the 502 is much more hairs, I think. It's just the 206 has longer hairs. And density is, actually the 502 feels more dense. All right, so those are the brushes that I wanted to share with you guys. If I had to pick one that I recommend the most, I would say the G531. I can see this being really good for someone that has maybe like a medium to deep skin tone to do like contouring and bronzing, because you're going to be able to like get more definition with your bronzer, your contour, more so than the other angled ones. But if you don't have a deeper skin tone, I think you will like this one as well. You know, you just put a little less product. And I think I know I really liked it for the powder application because it's such a large brush and it's so dense. I feel like it just got that powder on very quickly, but not in a heavy way. I mean, it was applying that powder like so lightly, and I prefer that because my skin is dry. But this one definitely did not disappoint. It is dense, and nowadays it's hard to find a brush with these hairs with this density. You know, you'll often get one that's like airy and fluffy because these hairs are becoming, you know, harder to find. And just from my first impression, these three brushes, they feel softer than my previous ones. I don't know if it's just in my mind, but they feel softer. And the mix is, yeah, so when Hakuhodo does this mix, they mix it evenly all the way through. Koyudo does it differently. They put the squirrel hairs a little bit longer, but these, I think they're all the same length. You know, it's not like the goat hairs are longer or shorter, at least from what I can tell. And they didn't skimp on the squirrel hair. Like, it's not, I was worried that it would be more of a goat hair brush, but yeah, they did not skimp on the squirrel hair. So compared to the 502, I think the 502 is slightly denser, but it could be because these hairs are a lot shorter. So I think density-wise is comparable to the G502, just longer and angled. So just to give you guys an idea if you have these other brushes. But yeah, I was really excited to get these and to show it to you guys. And I am working on a brush follow-up video from my previous hauls, and it's just been taking me a while to get all that information, to try them as much as I can to give you guys the best feedback. But I'll have that up probably next week, so look forward to that. And I think that's gonna do it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.